This video is about industrial disputes part 2 MCQ. Let us see the questions. First question. List of unfair labor practices on the part of the trade unions and employers was included in Factories Act, Industrial Dispute Act, Trade Union Act, none of the above. Which option? So here the question is list of unfair labor practices on the part of both sides. One is employee side, that is trade union side. Another one is employer side was included in which act? Obviously Industrial Dispute Act. Option B is the right answer. Second question, which of the following is an illegal industrial action as per law? Here the options are mutual insurance, collective bargaining, lockout, GARO. First one, mutual insurance, collective bargaining and all are not the illegal industrial action. Lockout also done by the employer after giving the prompt notice. So this is not the illegal action. And GARO is the illegal industrial action as per law. So here GARO means what? GARO means to surround. That is collective actions by the workers in which management members will be imprisoned by the workers. So the workers surrounded the management members and they have arrest and then the management member cannot move here and there. So it is an offense. So this one, GARO is the illegal industrial action as per law. So answer D. D is the right answer. Next question. The main object of Industrial Dispute Act is what? The four options are given. First one, to provide for investigation and settlement of industrial dispute. Yeah, this is right, because Industrial Dispute Act's main objective is analyzing the problem, that is investigating the problem and providing the proper settlement for the remedy. So first is very apt. Let us see another three also. To regulate the conditions of work in manufacturing establishment, no. To regulate relations between workmen and employers, no, this is not up to the mark. And the next one, to regulate the relations between workmen and workmen, no, no. So option A is the right answer. Next one, the modern globalization in India requires drastic changes under which of the labor legislations? So some of the act given, the Factories Act, the Employees State Insurance Act, the Industrial Disputes Act, the Employees Provident Funds Act. So among these acts, which act is needed to change in the characteristic or in the salient features? So here given Industrial Disputes Act only, they needed some of the changes as per the global modernization. Next one, tripartism is the system of labor relations consist of what? Tripartism means three parties, obviously, that state, employers and workers. They were the three parties. So all the above is the right answer. Another one, which one of the following is not settlement method for dispute? Collective bargaining, compulsory adjudication, voluntary arbitration, reference to the civil court. The first three are the settlement methods for dispute, whereas the last one, reference to civil court, is not the settlement method for dispute. Answer D is the right answer. Next one, the industrial peace is secured through voluntary dash and compulsory dash. So the option is voluntary negotiation and compulsory adjudication is the right answer. Answer D is the right. Next one, work Committee is defined under which Act of Industrial Dispute Act 1947? So section 3 is the right answer. So section 3 of Industrial Dispute Act 1947 defines Works Committee. A is the right answer. Next one, conciliation officers is defined under which section? Section 4 of Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Answer B is the right answer. Next one, which of the following dispute settlers cannot make a binding decision? Here the four options given. One settler decision only cannot be bind. So conciliator's decision cannot make a binding decision. What does it mean, binding decision? Binding means bind to impose the legal obligations or disputes upon a person or a party to an agreement. So here conciliator dispute settlers cannot make a binding decision to the parties. Answer C is the right answer. Which of the settlement machinery implies a stronger form of intervention and a mediator may be permitted to offer to the parties proposal for settlement? So here the mediation is most probably all the industries first they will take as a tool, mediation. So mediation is the settlement machinery implies a stronger form of intervention, and a mediator may be permitted to offer to the parties proposal for settlement. So answer D is the right answer. Next one, the mediator has been described as the confidential advisor and an industrial diplomat. So mediator has been described as confidential advisor. So advisor, C is the right answer. Next one, dash and dash are regarded as equivalent term referring to essential the same kind of third party intervention in promoting voluntary settlement of dispute. Yeah, mediation and conciliation is the right answer. So mediation and conciliation is the equivalent term. So the third party will be there, and the two parties are there. Then the two parties disputes is solved by the third party. So mediation and conciliation almost same. The distinction between mediation and conciliation is hair splitting given by. Actually, hair splitting is a phrase. That is the differences between these two, conciliation and mediation, are so small. They are not important. That is, we can't distinguish a lot. So almost both are same. So the distinction between mediation and conciliation is hair splitting. So it's a meagri. The differences is meagri. So almost same. This point is given by Professor Davy. Is the right answer. Professor Davy has given this term. There is distinction between mediation and conciliation is hair splitting. What kind of pressures do the disputing parties face from the conciliator? Personal, social and economic, political, and all the above. So all the that is personal, social and economic, political pressures, all the pressures do the disputing parties face from the conciliator. Dash is the process in which a dispute is submitted to an impartial outsider who makes a decision which is usually binding on both the parties. Here the options are arbitration, adjudication, court of inquiry, none of the above. So court of inquiry, adjudication, everything comes under the court. What about now arbitration? Arbitration is the third party, that is impartial outsider. So they are not showing any favorism for either this party or that party. So arbitration is the process in which a dispute is submitted to an impartial outsider who makes a decision which is usually binding on the parties. Here arbitration decision is binding the parties, whereas conciliators decisions, it cannot be bind. Answer A is right. The process of submitting any difference to be settled by a person chosen by both the parties is called what? Judicial intervention, arbitration agreement, quasi-judicial agreement, none of the above. Arbitration agreement is the right answer. So the process of submitting any differences to be settled by a person chosen by the party is called arbitration agreement. Answer B is the right answer. In arbitration only the present differences are referred. Answer A is right. Another one. The decision given by the arbitrator is called. This is very known question. So if the arbitrator is giving any decision, that decision is known as award. Answer C is right. What is the main objective of arbitration as per the Industrial Dispute Act? Securing an award, dominance, adjudication, binding of the award on the parties. Here the adjudication is the right answer. So arbitration is a dash process while mediation has a tick. Legal, statutory, lawful, constitutional, legitimate and compromising, judicial and legislative. So arbitration is a judicial process while mediation has a tick. So arbitration, actually arbitrator means what? Looks into the right or wrong of the dispute and make a decision. So arbitrator may be a lawyer or maybe an expert in any field. So in the psychological field or any field. So arbitration is the process. Which process? Judicial process, while mediation has a thing, legislative thing. Next one. Which are the two traits on which the award of an arbitrator rests on? So here, compromise and liberty, fair play and impartiality, equity and justice. Yes, that is traits means characteristics. Which are the two traits on which the award of the arbitrator rests on? If the arbitrator giving the decision, that is known as award, that award must be equity and justice. C is the right answer. The decision of an arbitrator should be based on which approach? Here split the difference approach. B is the right one. When the two parties are unable to solve the disputes by themselves or with the help of the mediator or conciliator, agree to submit the dispute to the impartial authority to solve the dispute. That is known as voluntary arbitration is the right answer. Which of the following is an essential element in the voluntary arbitration? So the first one, subsequent attendance of witness and investigation is the essential element in voluntary arbitration. So the attendance, witness attendance is must, as well as investigation of the witness also is must. These are all the essential element in voluntary arbitration. A is the right. Another one, what is the main drawback of compulsory arbitration? Here it deprives both the parties of their very important and fundamental rights. So both the parties' fundamental rights affected. So this is the main drawback of compulsory arbitration. Answer C is right. Another one, which of these is the condition for which compulsory arbitration is imposed on the disputing parties? So here B is the right one. Disputing parties fail to arrive at a settlement by the voluntary method. So if the parties cannot get the settlement by the voluntary method, they will have to follow, or they will push to the next level to adopt the compulsory arbitration. Which of the following is a quality should be present in the successful arbitrator? So high integrity, yes, of course they need, and knowledge of collective bargaining, of course. Then understanding the complexity of labor management relationship, yes, all three quality is essential. So answer D, all the above is the right answer. Which are the departments from where a qualified arbitrator be hired? So already we have discussed legal, they may be legal professionalist, government servant, psychologist, everybody. So all the above is the right answer. With the advocacy of dash, voluntary arbitration came into prominence for resolving the industrial disputes. Here Mahatma Gandhi is the right answer. So with the advocacy of Mahatma Gandhi, voluntary arbitration came into prominence for resolving industrial disputes. Answer B, right. Dash reiterated the faith of the parties in voluntary arbitration. So here the Code of Discipline 1958 reiterated the faith of the parties in voluntary arbitration. Answer A, right. Then the need for a wide acceptance of voluntary arbitration was reiterated by which one? Whether it is ILO. In Indian, ILO means International Labour Organization. Then Indian Labour Conference 1962, Court of Inquiry. Then National Tribunal. So here in Indian Labour Conference, the need for a wide acceptance of voluntary arbitration was reiterated by Indian Labour Conference in 1962. To which settlement machinery can the central government refer the disputes under Rule 81A? So here the option is conciliation, arbitration, adjudication and Supreme Court. So C is the right answer. So adjudicator settlement machinery can the central government refer the disputes under Rule 81A. Next one. The three-tier system of adjudications are Labour Court, Industrial Tribunal, another one National Tribunal. D is the right answer. The bill passing Rule 81A has made two new institutions for the prevention and settlement of industrial disputes, that is Work Committee and another one what? Here the options: Industrial Tribunal, Commission on Labour, Arbitration, Adjudication. So answer is Industrial Tribunal, Work Committee and Industrial Tribunal. Power has been given to dash to require Works Committee to be constituted in every industrial establishment employing 100 workmen or more. Appropriate government, state government, High Court, Board of Conciliation. So power has been given to appropriate government. A is the right answer. If an undertaking is closed down on the account of unavoidable circumstances, the compensation to be paid to the workman under clause B of section 25F shall not exceed his average pay of what? 1 month, 15 days, 60 days, 3 months. 3 months is the right answer. Answer D. Which of the option is a matter mentioned in the jurisdiction of Labour Court? So here withdrawal of any customary concession or privilege. Next one, application and interpretation of standing order, illegality and otherwise of a strike or lockout. So all three are correct. So all the above, all the options is given in the matter mentioned in the jurisdiction of Labour Court. D is the right answer. Next one, condition of service for change of Which notice is to be given is mentioned in which section of the Act? Here the options are Section 9A, Section 7A, Section 7, Section 2A. Section 9A is the right answer. Answer A is right. Another one, which of these is an unfair labor practice on the part of workmen? So there are the four options given. To recruit workmen during a strike which is not illegal, to discharge or dismiss workmen, indulging in coercive activities against certification of a bargaining representative, to indulge in act of force or violence. So here the option C is right. Indulging in coercive means forcing to do something. So that activities against certification of bargaining representative is an unfair labor practice on the workman side. Which of these is an unfair labor practice on the employer's side? Here, to incite or indulge in willful damage to employer's property connected with the industry, no. Then to advise or actively support or instigate any strike deemed to be illegal, this is not also right. Then for a recognized union to refuse to bargain collectively in good faith with the employer, no. So none of the above is the right answer. So none of the above given the options is an unfair labor practice on the part of employer. D is the right answer. Which are the two methods on which a conciliator relies on to resolve the dispute between two parties? So here cognition and influence, reasoning and persuasion, rational and coaxing, motivation and leadership. So the two methods are reasoning and persuasion. B is the right one. Another question, dash and dash are the two attributes which every conciliator should possess. So the options are independence and impartiality, technicality and suspicion, persuasion and perceiving, conviction and arduous. So A is the right answer, very apt. So independence and impartiality are the two attributes which every conciliator should possess. A is the right answer. Section 11 of Industrial Dispute Act 1947 deals with what? So power of conciliator officer, board of conciliation, constitution of board of conciliation, and qualification of members of national tribunal. So the answer is A, power of conciliation officer. So power of conciliation officer, this one dealt by the section 11 of Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Next question, the maximum hours of work that a worker may be asked to work in a week, what? 48 hours. A is the right answer. Matters within the jurisdiction of labor specified in which schedule? Second schedule is the right answer. Second schedule 2 in Industrial Dispute Act. Answer A is right. Under which of the following legislation there is a provision called protected workman? So protected workman is given in which act? Trade Unions Act, then Industrial Employment Standing Order Act, and Factories Act, then Industrial Dispute Act. Yeah, Industrial Dispute Act is the right answer because protected workman, that concept is given in Industrial Disputes Act. Which one of the following is not a machinery for settlement of disputes under the Industrial Disputes Act? So here conciliation officer, board of conciliation, collective bargaining, labor court. So which one not the settlement machinery? So here collective bargaining here is not the settlement machinery. Under which schedule of Industrial Disputes Act 1947 public utility services have been listed out? Yeah, first schedule. Last question. Grievance handling machinery is given in Industrial Dispute Act or Factories Act or both? Yeah, Industrial Dispute Acts only. So grievance handling machinery is given in Industrial Dispute Act. Answer A is the right answer. Okay, thank you very much. Take care. We will meet you in the next video.